So the holdover striped bass fishing in New York City has been on absolute fire. I've been hitting it up pretty hard. This is the first video I'm going to put up about it, but it's been going on since like mid-March. It's only going to get better. The warming water temperature is happening right now. And yeah, I mean, this is the best holdover bite that I've seen in the decade since I've lived in New York City. It can be kind of tricky to figure out some evenings or afternoons, but it's definitely going down right now. And for whatever reason, my GoPro decided not to record audio on this session, so I'm just going to show some highlights from this evening and then cut into another evening that I was out fishing. But yeah, the striped bass are in the entire East River, Hudson, bays, just wherever. They're all over right now, and this is the best that I've ever seen it. They're really quality fish, and the migrators are going to be here any day now, so I would suggest getting out and fishing. And just keep in mind, this is all catch and release until April 15th, I think. I don't keep striped bass, so don't ask me, but if you're looking to keep them, now is not the time. So make sure that you release them right away, make sure they swim off healthy, and yeah, get out there and have some fun. Striped bass in the city that doesn't sleep. I used to do this when I first moved to the city in 2013. And I haven't done it in years. But yeah, pretty cool, right? You can see that's Manhattan right there. Nice fish. Later, bud. But yeah, I learned how to do this from a guide. When I first moved to the city in 2013, I had known how to catch striped bass already, but I was completely clueless on how to do it in New York City. And I met a guide in New Jersey that was willing to take me out, and he kind of showed me how to do this. And I would say it's kind of complicated, the way you have to cast and retrieve. So if you try and do this and you get skunked, I'm sorry, but it is a little bit of a technique that you have to do in order to actually catch them. But just get out and try. It's definitely really cool. You know, you can see the Manhattan skyline, which is definitely very unique. But I don't even think I could explain this in a video. It's pretty complicated, the way you have to get in the strike zone to actually catch the fish. And it has to be particular tides too. Like when it's running really fast and you don't have the right jig head and stuff, you'll probably just get skunked. But really fun way to catch striped bass, especially early season. There's one right there. But you can see I'm being very calculated in how I'm doing this. Definitely got to get my lure in the right spot at the right time. It has to be a perfect tide to do this, and you could totally go out and get lucky. I keep missing the hit because I'm trying to line my lure up in a particular spot, and my drag is really tight because I have to pull them out of the current. But these are all pretty decent sized fish. You know, you're not going to get a really big fish doing this, especially early in the season. These are all holdovers. A lot of people don't realize that holdovers live in New York City year round, and they're always here. You can catch these pretty much 365 as long as you've got the right technique in doing it, and very calculated on your approach. If you just cast it out, you're not going to get one. You have to definitely finesse it into the right area. have the right weight jig head. I'm gonna keep all that a secret, but just get out and try and catch them. It's really, really fun. And I really don't do it as much anymore because I've been just so focused on catching big striped bass, which is just different. I've really been liking this slammer a lot. This is my first Slammer 4. I'm a big fan of it. But yeah, I'm gonna keep this a really short video. I just wanted to show you that you can catch striped bass in Manhattan or Brooklyn. They're on every single pier, and yeah, just go wherever's close to home. I wouldn't watch this video and just try and repeat what I was doing. Tell you what, I'm not really a big fan of doing this fishing as much anymore because I think I probably spent like $20 something on jig heads and paddle tails just getting stuck because the fish hold in areas they have tons of structure, and all the structure in Brooklyn and around Manhattan has got like lots of like wood pilings to it, and the fish will hang out in those wood pilings, and it's just the current. You have to time it up with the particular tide and current to really be on the fish, and you're just gonna get stuck and lose tons of jigs. So I don't really do it as much anymore, but it was fun to kind of have a little refresher and do it, just because this is when I first moved to the city, like 2013. I would just do this all the time. I mean, these fish are here year round, 365 days out of the year, and they're on every single, landing or jetty or just anywhere where you see rocks in the structure. They're in, Manhattan, Brooklyn, but it's a lot of fun. It takes a bit of a finesse technique to be able to really get your jig in the strike zone, soaking bait. Maybe that'll work. I don't really know. I never had success doing it, but yeah, I just wanted to keep a really short video, show you that there's striped bass in Manhattan and Brooklyn year-round. They're always here, and yeah, just requires a little bit of a finesse technique, but get out there and have fun. I haven't been having very much success in the bays yet. Those are where the big fish come in. I'm usually more interested in the migratory striped bass these days, the holdovers. The one that I got this morning was a holdover. There's 3 different types of striped bass. There's striped bass that live in rivers year-round, especially down south and other parts of the country. And then you got holdover striped bass, which are usually like 25 inches and below. Sometimes you can get like a 40-inch holdover, but I got a pretty big one about a week ago. I think that was like 30-something inches. But yeah, and then you got the migratory striped bass, and the migratory striped bass, they hang out in the winter time, off the coast of like North Carolina, and then once the warming water temperature comes around, they start to migrate in, and for spawning purposes, they'll go up the Hudson and spawn. And striped bass, they're andromous, which means that they don't need to live out in the ocean in salt water to be andromous. They can still spawn in freshwater, but basically they'll live their life in the salt water, and then once the water temperature gets in that sweet spot for striped bass to spawn, which is like 62 degrees Fahrenheit, they'll spawn in freshwater and then go back out to the river. Go back out to the ocean. So it's kind of like a salmon, or Atlantic herring, does it as well. But yeah, just quick short video, mostly just vlogging, talking to you guys. And yeah, thanks for watching. Peace.